Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about a super powerful tool that's designed to just shatter creative blocks and help you come up with brilliant new ideas. It's called SCAMPER, and trust me, it's a total game changer if you're ever looking for a spark of innovation.
I mean, you know that feeling, right? When you're just staring at a blank page, or maybe a project that's half done, or some problem that just won't go away, and your brain just freezes. It's so frustrating. And look, it happens to all of us. But what if there was like a system to help you push right past it?
Well, guess what? There is. And it all boils down to this really simple 7-letter acronym. Think of it like a framework that'll guide your thinking and kind of force you to look at things from totally new, unexpected angles.
All right, let's get right into it. So first things first, what is SCAMPER? The best way to think about it isn't as some strict set of rules, but more like a playground for your brain. It's really just a system for asking the right questions to get those creative gears turning.
Okay, so here's the more official definition. SCAMPER is what's called a directed brainstorming technique. And that word directed is really the key here. This isn't about sitting around waiting for lightning to strike, for some random stroke of genius. It's about actively prompting your own mind with a specific checklist to come up with new ideas for something that already exists.
So as you can see, every single letter in SCAMPER stands for an action, a verb. It's a prompt to get you to challenge your own assumptions. We've got substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to other uses, eliminate, and reverse. These 7 actions are basically the keys to unlocking a flood of new ideas.
So, let's break this whole thing down step by step. We're going to start with the first 3 letters, S, C, and A.
Okay, first up we have S for substitute. This one is pretty straightforward. It just asks you to think about what parts of your products or your problem or your process you could replace with something else. It's literally just about swapping one thing out for another and seeing what happens.
So you might ask yourself a question like, what if this object were made of a different material? Or what if a different person was in this role? A perfect example is, what if we substitute the meat in a burger with some kind of plant-based protein? That one little question basically helped create the entire veggie burger industry. It just goes to show how a simple substitution can lead to these massive breakthroughs.
All right, next up is C for combine. This step is all about merging 2 or even more ideas or features or products together to create something brand new. Just think about some really unlikely partnerships.
And this leads to some really cool questions, like what ideas can be combined, or what if we merge 2 totally different objects? Think about it. What if we combined a phone with a really good camera? Boom, you get the smartphone. Or what if we merged a coffee shop with a bookstore? You end up with a completely new kind of community space. It's all about creating that new energy from separate things.
And our third action is A for adapt. Now this is where you start to look at how you can adjust or tweak your idea to make it fit into a whole new context or maybe solve a totally different problem. It's really about borrowing inspiration from other fields.
So you'd ask, what else is like this? Or what ideas from other fields could we bring in? The key is to look outside your own little bubble. A perfect example of this is Velcro. The inventor literally adapted the idea from nature after he saw how these little burrs from a plant kept sticking to his dog's fur. He borrowed an idea from biology and created this revolutionary fastener. Okay, so we're halfway through. Now let's tackle the final 4 actions, M, P, E, and R. And this is where your thinking can get really expansive.
M stands for modify, and you can also think of this as magnify or minify. It's all about changing the scale or the form of something. So what happens if you change an attribute like its shape or its color? What if you make it way bigger or way smaller, stronger, lighter?
These questions really push you to play around with proportions. I mean, think about how laptops evolved from those giant desktop computers. That's a perfect example of modifying by minifying. And on the flip side, what happens if you magnify a TV? Well, you get a stadium jumbotron, and that completely changes the whole experience of a live event.
Next is P for put to other uses. So, your idea or your product was designed for one specific purpose. But what else could it be used for? Could it serve a completely different audience? Could it solve a totally different problem? This one is all about expanding your perspective. You would ask, what other markets could use this? Or who else could benefit? And the classic example here is Play-Doh. Get this, it was originally sold as a wallpaper cleaner. Can you believe it? But its creators put it to another use when they realized it could be this amazing, non-toxic modeling clay for kids. And just like that, a legendary toy was born.
Okay, now we're on to E for eliminate. And this is a really cool one because sometimes the most powerful innovation doesn't come from adding something new, but from taking something away. What can you remove? What can you simplify?
Just think about how the telephone has evolved. First, innovators eliminated the operator. Then they eliminated the rotary dial. And eventually, they eliminated the cord itself. Each time they took something away, the product got more efficient, more elegant, and way more user-friendly. It's proof that less really can be more.
And that brings us to the final letter, R, for reverse. You can also think of this as rearrange. Now, this is often the most mind-bending step of all. What happens if you do the exact opposite of what everyone expects? What if you just reverse the order of a process or completely flip the layout? This kind of question challenges the very foundation of how we do things. I mean, think about car companies that let you build your car online and then just deliver it to you. They are completely reversing the traditional buy it off the lot model. When you reverse your assumptions, you can end up with some truly disruptive innovations.
So there you have it. That's the whole framework. But, theory is one thing. Where is Scamper actually used? Let's take a look at how this thing shows up out in the wild. And honestly, the versatility of this tool is just incredible. It's used in education, especially with young kids, to help them think outside the box. It's used in business boardrooms for new product development. Artists and writers use it to break through creative blocks. And you can even use it for everyday problem solving, like trying to figure out what to make for dinner with whatever you've got in the fridge.
And that really brings us to the main point. Scamper isn't just some abstract idea. It's a practical tool that you can start using right now. So think about a challenge you're facing, maybe at work, at home, in a personal project. Just pick a letter, any letter, and ask the question, what will you substitute? What will you combine or reverse? Your next great idea might just be one simple question away.